Hello, I'm Barry John, and welcome back to Let's Play Descent. I have a couple of commentators, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Butcher, and I'm very terrible at this.
Hi, I'm Laylite, and I'm an amateur space captain.
Hi guys, and Speedball unfortunately isn't joining us. I think he's sitting in the hostage bay in the back, getting ready for the guys I'm going to be picking up later on in the level. So, Descent, you're seeing me here use not an advanced technique, but definitely an intermediate technique for dealing with enemies here. I am advancing slowly and trying to pick my fights with one enemy at a time. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, we're still in the early games. There's a huge number of just blind corners like this. It's really slow going sometimes.
And while I'm usually a proponent of go fast, take chances, the levels, at least within the corridors, are really hard to just jet past people.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Yeah, you have barely any room to do your normal circle strafing in here either.
Yeah. When you get to the giant rooms, you appreciate them for what they are. But this game is definitely, in love with the tight corridors here. So, corner shooting. As people have noticed, actually, this is our second recording run. You see, we had a small issue where Bucha was watching the wrong video last time. So, what we're seeing here, the comment is that the player ship, the Pyro GX, is a fully realized 3D model in the game. And because of that, the guns actually have origin points on the ship. So
that means that it's actually possible to, in some cases, you can shoot around a corner without exposing enough of your model to the enemy ships that they, can't actually see you.
Yeah. And trust me, guys, the enemy will do this right back at you, so don't think I'm cheating the game or something.
Yeah, with the damage output and the numbers that are on insane mode, players are doing that constantly. Maybe at a little bit faster pace, but it's an integral part of the gameplay. Is just getting really, really good at just parking your ship at the end of the hallway and, sliding into the perfect spot.
Yeah. Let's see here. If you look at the targeting reticle on my ship, you can actually sort of see this in action. We have the crosshairs in the middle here, which show where your guns are going to wind up. But there's the two circles which represent where your missiles are. They tend to be launched from above and to the left and right of your cockpit here, whereas the guns tend to be fired off from underneath your cockpit. And you can see the glowing circle there showing which side my missile is going to fire off of. And the two green lines there show where my guns are going to fire out from.
Now, does that change with spread fire, which you just picked up?
The spread fire... No, I'm not a big fan of the spread fire. It has a gimmick, and give me a couple moments and I'll try showing it off here once, Okay, I'm not going to show it off. Basically, the spread fire's gimmick is that it fires horizontally and vertically, and it orients horizontally vertically. It's something of a volume control weapon in the game, firing in a pseudo cone, and I'm just not a fan of it. I'm giving it a show off here, and in these tight corridors, its ability to fill the whole corridor with firepower is good, but honestly, lasers are more energy efficient. The Gauss cannon is hit scan. The next weapon we get, I won't get till level 8. It deals more damage, and the final primary weapon, I actually learned how to...
I'm sure we'll notice this in later large rooms of later levels, but in theory, the spread fire cannon would be good against dodgy enemies in large hallways, but where they'd have room to move. But they're so fast that you would want to use the hit scan weapon on them anyway.
Yeah. The spread fire has its use, but it's just, not for me. One of the things I also wanted to show off, with my spinning of the map on occasion is that This is one of the levels that really starts to show off the fact that the map is open. It has switchbacks, doublebacks. There's multiple ways to get into target areas wherever you need to go. There's no one true path. Because, I mean, this is not a corridor shooter. Actually, wait, no, it is a corridor shooter.
I was about to say, very, very much a mineshaft shooter.
True. Oh, I love being able to just nick a missile around through a corner like that.
Nicely done, yes.
And of course...
Yeah, this is one game where you actually can really depend upon those sights, and in a really precise way, and not just a general way.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like, I'm one of those first-person shooters nowadays where you can either aim from the hip and have no aim, or use the iron sights and half your view screen is taken up by gun. Call of Duty!
Now, one of the things we mentioned was the little circles indicating which missile you're going to be using, and of course you can actually change which one, but I don't think I ever used that.
No, I mean, why bother changing it when you can just change your orientation so your missile is firing in the right direction? Once,
around the corner ambush, yes.
Around the corner ambush where once the door closes, you can't really go through it until the door reopens, so it kind of traps you in there. Ow.
Yeah, this is definitely not a game where you ever want to get into a fair fight. So you want to be able to take out the hugest threats immediately and just start controlling the situation as soon as you get in.
Yeah. And you can see here I broke out the Vulcan cannon to start dealing with these guys because the laser just wasn't cutting it.
I guess one thing I should also mention is that this is kind of a game where the developers expected you to die a lot. There are actually mid-level saves that you can use, kind of like in Doom. And, the extent to which you want to use those is up to your own personal preference, of course. But, it's definitely very handy for just knowing what's coming ahead of time.
Yeah, and you saw me using the save earlier. And later on I'll be saving mid-level and then cutting out until my next save. Basically do partial save, multi-runs, that sort of thing. So
wait, were these mines yours, or were they...
Yeah, they were mine. Okay, so there are 5 primary weapons and 5 secondary weapons in the game. The primaries are, so far we've got the lasers, the Vulcan, and the spread fire. These are your energy guns, your primary weapons. You fire them off. Your secondary weapons... you have your concussion missile, which is a dead fire missile. Your homing missile, which does exactly what it says on the tin and homes in on the enemies. Your number 3 is mines. Now, mines also you can fire directly from the back of your ship because they're mines. They drop behind you and they explode if they get hit or if they get shot. I tend to use mines if I know an ambush is coming behind hidden locked doors. And I can just, drop them in front of the doors before the enemies reveal themselves.
Ah, yes, the you can't open this door sort of telling warning.
Yeah. Or, it opens...
They actually do pretty solid damage, though.
Oh, yeah. Mines are respectable as weapons in this game. So, kudos for the game developers for actually, including mines that stay around for a long time. And are actually worth using. But yeah, I'm just leaving this one room here, which is one of those nice, beautiful rooms where you can maneuver to your heart's content and just trade long-range shots with the enemy. And then you have rooms like this, which is, tight quarters, no ability to maneuver. Actually, that's not quite true. if you ever find yourself in tight quarters like this, try to stick to relatively speaking, the top or the bottom of the corridor here. That way, when the enemy fires at you, you can switch down to the other side of the corridor, like going from top to bottom or bottom to top, and that will allow for most of the enemy shots to miss you. But if you start your fight in the middle of the corridor, there's no real spot for you to evade to.
Remember,
Yeah, this
usually...
also ties into the thing that we were talking about earlier with the hitboxes being very similar to the models. So your hitbox is actually wider than it is tall.
Mm-hmm. I should, go find a couple of nice 3D model pictures for the Pyro GX to show off to people here. And let's see here. Hostage Rescue Service.
Hello.
Yeah, and another mid-level save for me.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Now, I always have to wonder if the robots marked the rooms as biohazards, or if they were already biohazards to begin with.
Well, look at the title of this thread, 6 Degrees of OSHA Violations. Do you honestly think that the PTMC would, register a location as a biohazard if they didn't have to?
No, that is true.
Alright, now, ladies and gentlemen, let me point something out to you. I'm about to go through a very hellish experience. And I have cut out a frankly ridiculous number of deaths that I'm going to be appending to this video at the end here. Because I've got 44 shields, I have 2 enemy spawners behind me, and I am in deep trouble in this particular section because this is not an easy fight at all. There's a half dozen green hulks up here and a concussion missile thrower hiding behind the reactor at the top.
Yeah, there's another game mechanic that kind of ties into all this, which is that if you blow up the reactor but then you die on the way out, if I remember right, you still get to move on to the next level because technically you accomplished your mission, you just lost one of your lives. But I think the developers kind of took that as an excuse to make the exit runs especially difficult.
Oh god, yes. Always note where the exit is before you guys, before you even think about taking on the reactor. And, ooh! Life up, life up, life up!
Ah, nicely done.
Yeah.
Or is there still one down there?
Well, it's almost out. But yeah, fortunately you don't have to hit the reactor directly. You can take care of things. So, you know what? I'm going to be talking about enemy spawners in another video because I just want you guys to know that enemies can spawn through these purple things that you saw there, and I'm just running like a madman.
A fair response.
Yeah.
You don't have to kill everything in this game. You just have to get in, destroy the reactor, and get out. And, just kill things if they get in your way. That's all.
Yep. Well, thank you guys for level 3, and I'll see you next time on level 4.
Thanks for having us.